Welcome everyone to another edition of Facebook Live. We're here at the Undisputed Champion Network studios in Santa Monica, California. Today our guest subject is Seniesa Estrada, super flyweight prospect. Seniesa, first of all, thank you for coming in today.
Thank you for having me.
You have some big shoes to fill because last week in that very chair was Ray Boom Boom Mancini.
Oh, wow.
So I don't know how you're going to live up to it, but you're better to look at than Ray. So
Thank you.
we're going to start from the very beginning. June 26th, 1992. How was that day?
I have no...
That was the day you were born.
I was born that day, but I don't remember. Of course I don't.
You were born in East LA.
Born in East LA, yes.
Did you know you share a birthday with Derek Jeter?
Yes, I do.
You do know that. How about Babe Diedrichson Zaharias? Does that name ring a bell? You don't know who she is?
No.
She is perhaps the greatest female athlete of all time. She won 2 gold medals in the 32 Olympics. The greatest female golfer of all time. Won, I think, a Grand Slam. You know what the Grand Slam is in golf?
Yes.
Where you win all the major titles. She did that, I think, in 1950. So this is the kind of useless
June 26th
information.
is a great day.
This is the kind of useless information I have.
That's
with,
great.
the day people share their birthdays with. So it's all downhill from here, believe me. No, I'm kidding. All right. Speaking of golf, I was stalking your Instagram the other day and saw that you golfed.
I do golf.
Do you golf regularly?
Yes. I would say not regularly, but
Is it harder than boxing?
It makes it easier because I'm like coordinated, so I have good hand-eye coordination, so it makes it. I'm very athletic, so I can pick up on things quickly.
Okay.
So yeah, it's fun. I love playing golf all the time.
Like many boxing fans, you were introduced to the sport through your father.
Yes.
You were watching on TV. Take us through that moment. Was there a certain moment when you first realized, damn, I love this sport? And was there a certain fight you were watching?
I would watch boxing with my dad when I was little, about 6, 7 years old. I started when I was 8, so I grew up watching boxing with him. His favorite fighter is Roberto Duran, so we would always watch Duran and all these classic fights, and boxing just really intrigued me from the first moment I watched it. And when I was 8 years old, I asked him if I could box, and he wasn't really happy with that idea. He didn't even want me to play baseball because he said baseball's for boys. So he wanted me to just like cheerlead or do some kind of girly sport. But I was super intrigued and interested in boxing. And I feel like it's something, I feel like I didn't choose boxing. I kind of feel like boxing chose me. Like, sometimes you just get a passion for something that you want to do. You don't know why, but it's because it's destiny and you're just meant to do it.
Now, when you first asked your dad to box and go to the gym, he wanted to put you in with a boy to spar to kind of get you to quit, but that backfired, didn't it?
Yeah, I was training for about maybe a week or 2, and he told my trainer, put her in with this boy, that way he can beat her up and make her cry, and then she won't want to come back, because that'll solve his problem. So got in the ring and ended up beating up the boy and making him cry, and then after that,
him cry.
Yeah, so his plan kind of backfired. So after that, he just saw how much passion I had for it and how much potential I had. So after that, he was like, you know what? I guess I'll support her if she wants to do this.
You don't happen to know this kid, do you? It's a kid
I don't.
Hopefully he sees your career take off, because you don't want to have a girl make you cry and her career not pan out.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, maybe he's proud of it. Who knows? Was there a moment of clarity when you realized, I'm really good at this boxing thing? And was it a light that went off in your head? Was there a certain moment that happened?
I would say my very first day of training.
Okay.
Just from what my trainer was showing me and how quickly I picked up on it and how it just made sense to me, I knew that it's exactly like what I should be doing.
We always hear about these stories about boxers turning their lives around. But yours is a unique case because your boxing career turned your dad's life around. Give us a little bit of insight on that.
Right, yeah. Before I started boxing, my dad was in and out of prison, addicted to drugs, and around the time I started boxing is when his life just completely changed. I feel like boxing, not only saved my life and made me the person that I am today, but it saved his life, because if it wasn't for him having to be there to support me and be with me in the gym every day, then his life would have just kept going in the direction that it was going. So boxing is kind of,
And he's still in your corner every fight, every
Yes.
training camp, every day pretty much.
Biggest supporter, biggest fan.
Nice. Garfield High School.
Yeah, Oscar De La Hoya went there.
I was just going to, that was another fact I had. You read my mind. There was nobody else of note that went to Garfield other than
Yeah,
you.
other than
you.
me, yeah.
Yeah, of course. Did everyone in your high school know that you were a boxer? Because there's no boxing teams in high school.
They did, yes. Especially my home school was Wilson High School. Then I
Uh-huh.
transferred to Garfield because my best friend at the time was going there, so we wanted to be together. So
Uh-huh.
I went to Garfield High School
Okay.
and graduated from there. But I mean, my friends knew, and then the whole school started to know because I had like reporters always follow me around at school for like interviews and like cameras going to my school, and it was like, for me it was so embarrassing because I didn't want people to like, I just didn't like the attention. But yeah, eventually people started finding out, and but I try to keep it to myself as much as possible.
Do you still find it kind of weird to get all this attention? I know but it's part of your job now.
Yeah, it's part of a job.
And we're
so
different
you
people
can't-
back in high school.
Exactly, yeah.
Were the boys intimidated by you?
I have no idea.
You have no idea?
No. I hope not.
Did you try qualifying for the Olympics?
I didn't. I won the 2009 USA Nationals, and was ranked number 1, traveled to the World Championships and competed. And in about 2010, I fractured my foot, so that kind of set me back for like a whole year. Then getting back into it, it was just pretty discouraging because of my injury. And after that, like, all I wanted to do was just turn pro. Like, that was the only thing on my mind. So
I see.
work for that. And
I see.
Turn
Are you watching the Olympics now? I know they're going on now.
I
in
am,
Rio.
yes,
You are.
yes.
What's your favorite sport to watch?
favorite sport to watch is swimming.
Swimming.
I love
Michael
watching
Phelps
swimming.
has
Yes.
dominated the Olympics,
Yeah.
didn't he? I didn't get to watch.
And gymnastics as well.
But it's pretty impressive, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it is.
Do you like hypotheticals? Hypothetical questions?
Not really.
Okay. But I'm going to ask one anyways.
Okay.
If you're allowed to compete in the Olympics, other than boxing, what do you think you have the best shot at getting a medal at?
Gymnastics, but that's only if I
Gymnastics?
started at a young age. Like,
Well,
if I
of
was in
course.
boxing, that's what I would want to be doing, is gymnastics.
But the hypothetical is right now. What
Oh,
would
right
you,
now?
Yeah, right now. You had no
Oh, wow.
training.
I barely learned how to swim, so that's out of the question.
Let's make it even riskier. Life or death situation. You had to pick one sport.
Oh, wow, that's a good question.
I already know the answer.
What?
You join the basketball team because they're already stacked. They're winning so easily. I mean, they can have you as the fifth person.
That's
and you
true.
can win,
Yeah,
right?
I don't have teammates to help me out.
Yeah, I've thought about this. Yeah. You turned pro in 2011. How was that, actually achieving your dream of turning pro? Like, was there a lot of nerves involved? Take us through it.
Yeah, a lot of nerves, but at the same time, I felt I was prepared for it 100% because of my long amateur career. I had 102 amateur fights, and, all that just builds up to that moment. So I was definitely prepared. I was nervous, of course, but definitely ready. But it was difficult. It was difficult to stay active. Like, I didn't fight I had like a year layoff before my next fight, or 8 months. And now this year, on September 10th, it'll be my third fight this year. So I'm finally active.
Yeah.
And now I finally feel comfortable in the ring and feel like, I'm finally on a row where I should be. Because being a young prospect, you have to be busy. And for me, that wasn't the case. I was not active at all. And it's difficult for women, which is why, I wasn't so active.
Yeah, you were 2012, 2013. You didn't fight at all
Yeah.
in those 2 years.
My injury, plus
Yeah.
it was hard to get back in there and try to get a fight and stuff.
Now, one of these issues you have is you're not signed to a promotional company.
No.
Now, there are obviously cons to that, but what are the pros to not having a promoter?
The pros to not having a promoter, well, for women, it makes it, makes it much easier for me because I'm not just stuck with one promoter who's saying like, okay, you're not going to fight this month, but you can fight in 2 months from now. And that's not what I want. I want to fight, every month or every other month if possible. So not being signed makes it easier for me right now because I can jump from card to card and I can be more active.
Yeah, and you don't have to worry about any political issues in the sport that, hinder men's careers.
Yeah.
That we all know and kind of hate because it kind of doesn't get us the fights we want.
Right.
So
exactly.
you can get any fight anytime, theoretically.
Yes.
Is there one person out there that you want to fight? And I would assume it's somebody with a world title.
I just want to fight the best fighters
Okay.
at the right time. I mean, of course, right now I'm only 7-0, and I want to continue to build my record. But I'm willing to fight anybody as long as it's the right time.
You made a splash in 2015 when you were featured on the undercard for Gennady Golovkin at the Forum. How was that? I mean, that has to supersede any moment prior to your career, right?
Yeah.
It's such a big arena and such a big stage. How was that?
It was great. It was a great experience, great opportunity, and I just fought there again April 23rd,
Yes.
and that was, it was just a blessing. I feel grateful that all my hard work and talent is just showing, and it's appreciated.
Now, you will be fighting there again September 10th, correct?
For the third time, yes.
I didn't ask your opponent. Who is your opponent?
My opponent is Nancy Franco from Guadalajara, Mexico, and she's a former world champion. She just fought the 108 champion from Argentina last month. So she's been active, and she has a lot of experience, a lot of pro experience, but I feel like my amateur experience and my skills and the fact that I've been active, I feel confident, I'm comfortable, and I feel like I'm ready, even though she has, all the pro experience and rounds.
Do you follow MMA at all, UFC?
I do.
You do?
A bit.
Do you ever think about ever going into MMA yourself?
I don't.
No?
I've been asked that question so many times, but at the same time, like, it would probably be easier as far as, like, getting all the publicity.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's not what I'm passionate about, and it's not what I've been doing since I was a kid. I can't just jump into MMA.
It's a completely different sport.
Yeah, I can't just jump into MMA and think, like, I'm going to destroy someone. Like, my stand-up game would be great, but if I'm on the ground, I'd get destroyed.
Yeah.
So it takes a lot of practice, and, you have to be doing it for many years to be good at it.
Yeah. Well, we did see Holly Holm go
Yeah.
into UFC and literally destroy
with
the best
with her
female
boxing
fighter
skills.
ever in Ronda Rousey with the boxing skills. But then we see her get taken down and choked out
Yes.
by lesser opponents. So it is one of those things.
Yeah.
We're going to get into your fighting style right now, actually.
Okay.
We have clips queued up. This is your last fight. It's actually the first female fight ever at the LA Fight Club, the Golden Boy Promotions. They do that about twice a month,
Yes.
and they've been doing it for 3 years now. And you were the first female to ever be, and it was televised on Estrella TV.
Yes, it was.
You're getting ready to go in the ring. Do you try and get yourself angry at all?
No.
No?
No, I think if I go in there angry, like, I'll lose my mind. Like, I just stay calm and keep thinking of the game plan and stay focused, Staying calm is the biggest thing.
What song are you coming out to here? Do you remember?
I don't remember, no.
I
I usually come out to Queen.
Queen?
Yeah.
Is that something you think about? Like, is it premeditated? Do I, like, every fight, do I change the song? Does it depend on your mood or something?
You know what? I'm not really big on that. Like, I let my trainer decide all that, what song to walk out to.
Really?
Like, I don't think about
See,
that.
if I was a boxer, that'd be, like, the most important thing is what song I want to come out to. And I've thought about it many times.
What song would you come out to?
It depends on my mood, but first of all, I'd preface it with I would be a knockout artist. I'd never get to the decision, ever. I always knock out my opponent. And because of that, I would pick, like, a love song just to kind of contradict myself. So Anita Baker is any Anita Baker song, pretty much. It's kind of hard to choose which one because they're all really good. That's my girl. But yeah, that's who I would walk out to. What do you think of that?
That's intimidating.
Yeah, it would intimidate my opponent.
I would be terrified.
They wouldn't know what to do.
Yeah.
See, this is all I think about. But in reality, I would get knocked out in the first round. There's no doubt about it. I'm terrible at boxing. All right, let's go to the next clip. What do you look for when this is the first round, by the way. What do you look for when you're trying to feel out your opponent? Is there a certain facet of their game?
I just look for openings, try to feint and see what they react to. So we knew going into this fight that my opponent, even though she was a couple inches shorter than me, she was a lot heavier. My next fight will be at 108, which is,
This one was at 112, right?
This was at 114.
114?
And actually, that's not even my weight class, and I don't even like fighting at that weight. So we knew the opponent was going to be heavier, especially the night of the fight, because I walk around at the weight that if I fight at 114, I walk around at that weight. So it's like, of course the girls are going to come in much heavier than me, especially on fight night. So the thing was just, make sure we keep a good distance and use feints and
it's all about that jab
opening,
to keep that
yeah.
distance. And I noticed that you control the middle of the ring and try and keep your opponent at the back with their back to the ropes. Is that something you try to do?
Yeah, I try to, make sure I keep my opponent where I want them and not try to get my back to the ropes and cut off the ring if they're moving and just stay in the center.
Cutting off the ring is one of the most underrated skill sets to have.
Right.
And Golovkin is actually, I think, the best one to do it in the sport right now. Would you agree?
I agree.
All right, let's get on to the next one. It didn't take long for you to open up here. This is where you start.
First round, right?
I think this is the second round.
Oh, okay.
You did start to open up in the first round, but we're trying to get a clip of every round here. What's your hardest punch, you think?
My hardest punch is, I would say a left hook. It's my favorite punch.
We just saw it right there.
But I try to work on just about every punch in the gym to make every punch as equally strong.
We'll see it right here. No, right there.
There.
Boom.
There you go.
Now, you had the speed advantage in this fight. How quickly did you know you had the speed advantage?
I knew it before even stepping into the ring because I've seen clips of her fights before.
All right. This is kind of a low light here, and I think I know what you're...
Yeah. It's all good.
Oh.
No.
First knockdown of your career. What was going through your mind right now?
First knockdown, I was just thinking, how the heck did you let that happen?
Yeah.
But I knew exactly why. I tried to switch stance in the middle of an exchange, which is something you shouldn't do. I wasn't hurt at all. I wasn't dazed, but it was just a good shot that landed right when I was.
And then she tried to hit you when you're on the ground. Did you notice that in the moment?
I didn't notice that.
You didn't notice it. And
which is why it looked like my body just like flopped. It made it look so bad. It was
you ran right into it.
I ran right into it. But I mean, it's all good. I got back in there and I dominated the rest of the fight. So I stood calm because I knew I wasn't hurt at all. And
I'm sorry we keep playing this over and over again.
Can you stop playing it?
All right, action resumed. Look at it. And this is where you start trading. You guys get into a war after
And
that.
I start trading because I'm smart enough to know if I'm hurt, don't trade. But I wasn't hurt, which is why I traded.
And did you want to show her that you weren't hurt?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
That didn't affect me at all. It's a simple mistake that I made, and I'm glad that I made it now at 7-0 than making it at 15 or 20-0 against a big power puncher. Then that wouldn't be good. So I know exactly the mistake that I made and what I did wrong. So that won't happen again.
Next clip. The war continues right here. And you got clipped there a little bit.
I did. My hand got stuck on the rope too.
Oh, it did? I didn't notice that. See, these are the little things that I think we have a slow motion replay and we can see it again. But going toe-to-toe, it's something that, there it was. It's a question that pops in my head, like, what inspires a fighter to go toe-to-toe and actually take a shot, to give a shot?
Pride and passion, that's for sure. Like, getting knocked down, that just made me want to get right back up.
A little bit of embarrassment there?
Yeah, of course. Okay. You have embarrassment, and then pride and passion just makes you say, like, that's not going to happen again. And you want to show your opponent that didn't hurt.
Is it fair to say you got angry there?
I was pretty angry there, yeah.
All right. I like angry. In the ring, at least. I like angry. All right, next clip. We're going to see you get back in control and get your distance back with the jab. I bet this is something your corner wanted you to do the whole time, probably, right?
Yeah, keep a distance. But my trainer always says, if you know the person can't hurt you, then go in there and go for the stoppage. But it was difficult because she weighed so much. She had the weight advantage. But that's something that I'm always gonna have to deal with in the sport, and it kind of sucks because my weight class I should be fighting at 108 pounds or 110. But unfortunately, all my fights I've been having to fight at 112, 114. My 5th professional fight, my opponent came in 7 pounds overweight, and I fought her anyway. So the night of the fight, she was like 130, and I was 112 pounds. So that just, it just shows like how much at a disadvantage I am at weight, but I'm at an advantage with my skills. So, that kind of evens it out. But I'm trying to stay at 108, 110 pounds because that's what I really want to fight at. That's where I should be fighting.
I noticed that you also switched to southpaw a lot. Are you southpaw or orthodox, or, like originally?
I'm right-handed. Okay. But I feel more comfortable throwing certain punches left-handed sometimes, and it just comes easier for some reason.
I think this is a replay. Can we go to the next clip? Here we go. Now with your back to the ropes,
Yeah.
it seems like you're really comfortable because you have the
Yeah.
speed advantage and you're just peppering her.
I have-
And we're going to see a slow-mo. Look at this. Your defense, left hook.
I'm super comfortable being on the ropes. You know, especially, it's kind of difficult to be on the ropes with like a 4 or 6 round fight because, remind you, women only go 2 minutes, not 3
Yes.
minutes. So it's kind of like I don't really have a chance to take my time when I'm doing 4 to 6 rounds
Mhm.
because my style of fighting, I like to think and set things up and counterpunch, and I'm more of a thinker. So my next fight will be 8 rounds. So I'm very excited about that because I'll get to take my time and get to, you know, if I want to be on the ropes, I can be on the ropes. I can be on the ropes taking my time and just, you know.
Now, you've never fought an 8-rounder before, right?
This will be my first.
Nice.
Yes.
And world title fights, are those 12 rounds?
For women, it's 10 rounds.
It's 10. Okay, got it. Last clip here, and this is you being announced as the winner. Unanimous decision victory. All that hard work. Is that what you think about when your hand's raised? Or what do you think about?
I think about
Glad to get it
just-
over with?
Yeah, just happy that I got the win, and
Now that guy is one of my favorites.
right, he's
This is-
hilarious.
That guy is so great. He's so energetic. I could use a little bit from him. And there you go.
Yeah, it was a great experience. I'm thankful to Golden Boy Promotions for, you know, actually giving
Mhm.
women the opportunity to not only be on the card but to be
Mhm.
televised. Like, it was great. It was great.
Now in this next fight, it's K2 Promotions
Yes.
promoting the card, and this shows, you know, the pros that we were talking about of not having a promoter. It can be good for you.
Right, it can.
Absolutely. But would you sign with a promoter if they offered?
I would if it's you know
The right deal.
deal
Of
and
course.
I'm able to stay active. Definitely.
Of course. Do we have Facebook questions? Or any questions?
Nothing that we want to put on there.
Nothing.
No,
Is it like X-rated?
I wouldn't go that far, but just nothing worth it.
Maybe after. Well, no, I'm just kidding. All right. Well, that kind of like wraps it up. September
Great.
10th.
September 10th. Yes.
And that night is Chocolatito Gonzalez versus Carlos Cuadras for the WBC 115 title, I believe, the HBO main event. And the lead-in fight is Jesus Soto Karass Yoshihiro Kamagai rematch, which was also featured on LA Fight Club and was a Fight of the Year candidate earlier this year in April. And you're going to be the person warming up the ring for both those fights.
Yes.
Anything else you want to say? You want to get out there? You want to say to your fans anything?
I just want to thank everybody for all the support and for all the love, and looking forward to September 10th.
Absolutely.
And thank you.
Thank you for doing this. Couple credits. Golden Boy Promotions for the video, Ring TV. Those who called it, Steve Kim, of course, of UCN, Beto Duran, and Doug Fisher of Ring TV. And my name is Mike Baca for Seniesa Estrada. This is the Undisputed Champion Network.